and welcome to the Season 3 finale of Unboxing Women, where we explore why women in business are often called such a bitch. Ta-da!
Yay!
My name is Rexx, and with me is my friend Maika Rose, and we are both independent recording artists and singer-songwriters based in Europe. You can listen to us on our YouTube channel and on your favorite podcast platform. And for the final episode, today's topic is the terms and conditions of Instagram and TikTok.
Yeah. Specifically when it comes to nipples. Even more specifically.
To females.
Exactly. So.
Why don't you start us off with
there
what
was a
happened?
very pregnant pause. Yes, which is also a very funny term, by the way. It's a very pregnant pause loaded with stuff. So yes, basically, a couple of months ago, I was on TikTok like everybody else is nowadays because we waste our time on it. But basically, I was on TikTok and I follow Devin Lytle. So Devin Lytle used to be on BuzzFeed. She's also a YouTuber, and I follow her more on YouTube. But because I was following her on YouTube, I found out that TikTok has been banning pole dancing videos. Specifically female pole dancing videos.
Okay.
Right? So, Devin is, I don't know, in her 30s. She's medium built, if that matters in any way, shape or form. But she does pole dancing as a sport, which, by the way, pole dancing started as a sport sometime in the 80s, I think. And it got official in 2009 or something.
Something like that.
Yeah, so in the 2000s, it really started taking off as a form of exercise. Because, let's face it, you have to be fucking strong to be able to do pole dancing.
It's so fit. It reminds me of the yoga that they do where they stand like on their head and their arms in like a 90-degree angle and do like the big planky thing, but up in the air, like straight, feet straight up. That reminds me, pole dancing and that kind of yoga.
Kind of calisthenics as well.
Yeah, something like that. I actually I would love to do pole dancing.
Yeah, I've been wanting to for ages.
I think it's so much fun.
Yeah.
And not sexual at all.
Well, but you also get to feel and live your sexuality in a way that is otherwise frowned upon.
Well, if you want to do a sexy dance on a pole, yes. But if you want to do it for fitness, then absolutely, well, because it's just yoga.
You can do anything you want. The pole is just an instrument. Yeah. Right? So I see it as a form of dance. Which, yes, it's also obviously a form of fitness. So you can do either. But for me, it's a form of dance. So it is our art. And whatever you do there, because there are forms of dance that are super sexual as well. Yes. But it's an art form and it's portraying something when done correctly.
Yes, right? And there are techniques that you have to learn and train for. Yeah. So what happened is, this girl, woman,
TikToks got banned.
They got banned.
Yeah.
But she's still on YouTube.
She's also still on TikTok. She got to the point, because she complained about it so often, that she got to the point where they didn't ban all of her TikToks anymore. Oh. But still some of them. She was like doing an experiment on which TikToks would be banned and which wouldn't. Oh. And she doesn't actually do pole dance on YouTube. Like, she sometimes shows short clips, but that's not what she's about. It's just she used to be an instructor, I think, before COVID.
Oh, okay.
So, so it's actually really interesting. And that's how I started finding out about these things being blocked. And then I was like, well, wait a minute. Because
I see a lot of male pole dancers on TikTok as well. Yeah. And I haven't heard about those being banned.
Yeah, I mean, if they are, tell us, because we haven't heard about it. But it's insane, because the reason these are being banned is because because it is seen as overly sexual, and because it is seen as showing a lot of skin from a woman, which, by the way, also that TikTok was banned where a woman was in a bikini or sports underbras and like walking and everything was shaking. She wasn't actively shaking her body.
She was just walking.
She was just walking and everything was wiggling, because that's what fat does.
And she was making the point that female bodies are wiggly. We're wiggly. We have a little bit of fat here, a little bit of fat there.
They're supposed to be body positive.
When you walk, it just wiggles around, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
And it got banned.
It got banned.
Not from Instagram.
No, but from TikTok.
But from TikTok. So when you came up with this topic, I immediately said, but what about men? And we haven't heard about any man being, pole dancer, I mean, being banned from TikTok.
Yeah.
I looked it up in the meantime, and I found a myriad of women talking on Reddit about their posts about pole dancing being shadow banned or even removed from TikTok, their accounts being deleted, stuff like that.
Yeah.
There is a woman who is called Dr. Ari, A-R-E. I forget her first name. It begins with a C. You can look her up. She has a PhD, and she also does pole dancing as a sport. She is somewhere in her 30s, and she actually pole dances clothed. I mean, you have to have a bit of skin because otherwise you don't stick to the pole. You know, you have to be able to, to stick to the pole.
Yes.
But she's not specifically in bikini either. So she is clothed, and she also had repercussions from that and was banned, shadow banned, deleted from TikTok. And then, well, she was doing also a research, really. She wasn't doing it on purpose with her own TikTok, but she was doing a little bit of research into the whole women being banned and not men for doing the same thing, like nipples, for example.
Oh my God, yes.
And because she was doing this research, they kind of contacted her and said, you know, via TikTok, via like a message in the system saying, oh, you know, get in contact with this person on this email from TikTok. She went to look on LinkedIn, and that person did work for TikTok, was like a marketing person. She got in contact with the email, never heard back.
Nice.
And then a magazine that she went to actually approached TikTok and was asking about, you know, why is this? And then all of a sudden, her account was back. And she actually knows of another TikToker, also female, also banned or like absolutely deleted, where also a magazine or a journalist approached TikTok, and then all of a sudden that one was back with a couple of videos deleted and stuff. But I'm guessing I haven't been banned on TikTok yet. Who knows? That might be in my future.
We'll see.
I have the impression that they don't communicate, so they don't really tell you why.
No.
You have a strike.
Yeah.
Which they actually do on other places like Twitch and YouTube. They're not big on communication, basically. And also it's all based around sex and sexualization, and there's a big difference between females and males, because when I'm on TikTok, I watch pole dancing videos by females, and then I also get pole dancing videos from males in my feed. And they're sometimes much nuder. And sometimes they're so sexy, they're doing it so sexily that I feel like I'm a peeping Tom watching this TikTok, that I feel uncomfortable watching this man portray this very sexual act around a pole, because it's not dance anymore, it's not fitness that they're doing, it's very sexual. Obviously, probably not all of them, but I do, and I feel like I'm a peeping Tom, and I feel uncomfortable. And if a woman would do these same moves, I would also feel uncomfortable. So it's not because it's a gay man that I'm like, oh no, I can't watch gay men. That's not the point I'm making here. But that one doesn't get banned, and the female one does. I don't understand what the difference is. I would say that TikTok is, you're allowed to be on it as of 13 years old. And we all know, parents out there, that you let your kids be on TikTok way before that. So it's basically, let's face it, we're all on TikTok, but it is actually an app for the young kids. Why is pole dancing allowed, period? That's what I would say. Why is pole dancing allowed, period? It's actually for young kids. And why are other sexual dances and stuff like that allowed on TikTok?
Maybe it should be like on YouTube. You can say whether your content is good for kids or not.
Yes, and you have
and
a parent
then you have
thing.
a barrier thing, basically.
And on TikTok, you don't, because it's supposed to be for the kids.
Yeah. You were saying this earlier. Like TikTok, is supposed to be for a younger generation. So for people I mean, I get called old on TikTok and I'm 25. So like everybody who was born in the 90s, basically old for TikTok people, right? So
If you're watching,
if I've offended like many people.
if you're watching YouTube, you can see my face. I'm not, this is not okay.
Yeah. So basically, so let's say it's for people below 20, which means if it really were only from people from 13 upwards, which is not, because, I mean, let's face it, I had a Facebook account before I was 13 and that's from 13 up, right? So you just have to lie about your age.
Yes.
Which a lot of young people then do, which means there are probably people from like 10 onwards on TikTok.
Oh, absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
So 10 to 18 is you're a minor.
Yes.
So it's not just the pole dancing, which I think in general, if it were, I don't have an issue with pole dancing. I don't have kids, so I don't know how I would feel about that. Specifically, that it's not like, maybe there should be an age barrier for stuff like that.
Well,
like I think that would be the easiest solution, because I think it's hurtful to, or not hurtful, but not right to censor people in that way,
because it's sexualizing pole dancing at that point. But
yeah,
it is sometimes, it can be a very sexy thing, and it's associated with strip clubs and stuff, which is also a very sexy thing. I have nothing against that, but the question is to the parents, what do you want your kids to be watching? What are their brains ready for, to be able to understand? Because they don't know about sex at that time, and they're seeing all this stuff, and what do kids do? They imitate. That's how they learn. So they're seeing all this stuff of also the little dances, with like the women, the not women, girls of 16 years old with the crop tops, and they're like shaking their hips like really sexily. It is just a dance. But then the 13-year-olds, which is between 13 and 16, it's a lot of difference, okay? Between 13 and 33, let's face it, that's not the difference. It's when they're so young that the difference is so great.
Yeah.
But they're still all minors. And then you have, so I'm telling this from like a parent's point of view, because my boyfriend has 2 children. So I'm raising them, obviously, together with him. And I have done so for 9 years now. So I know them pretty well. And the question is, what do you want your children to be seeing and also hearing? Because wet ass pussy, people, really? I mean, this is parent advisory, which used to be on the cassette or the CD that you bought for your children or whatever, it would clearly be labeled. And now they're doing this whole wet ass pussy campaign on TikTok, which is actually made an app for minors.
Yeah.
I'm not okay with such a text being in my child's ears. And on top of that, the children of my boyfriend are not English speaking, so they don't even understand it. Luckily, they don't understand what is being said, but they're like in the car singing along to Wet Ass Pussy, and I do understand English, thank you very much. So I'm there listening to this, and I'm like, what is coming out of her mouth? And it might be hypocritical, but all parents, let's just admit that we want to keep our children as pure as we can for as long as we can. Okay? That's what you do.
You shield children.
You shield them. You do. Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? That's a whole nother debate. But you don't want your child she was 12 at the time, or even 11 when this came out. She's singing along to Wet Ass Pussy. At 11, that's not okay.
No.
And I don't, Nicki Minaj and, no, it's Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion, they can have this song, they can release this song. I don't care about that. It's a great song, whatever you want to express in your art. But it used to be a barrier with the parental advisory thing. And on TikTok, there's no barrier. You can't even say, I don't want my child to be in contact with explicit lyrics, for example. You can't say that on TikTok.
There's also actually a sound going around where people do like transitions to like clothing transitions, which is
it's Queen of Babylon.
No. That one's a good one. No, but this one starts as like some sort of rap, and then I put my dick in her mouth.
Oh my god.
And someone was doing this, a father was doing this with his like 1-year-old girl, like doing a transition to that. I was like,
that's
do
so
you really
wrong.
have to use that sound for that? I don't
Yeah.
understand. I don't think people listen anymore.
I don't think people listen to lyrics anymore. No, and for me, it's very disturbing. I was telling Maika earlier that I love TLC. Remember TLC? They are still, they're amazing. And they did have kind of very explicit lyrics in a couple of songs that were on the album. These were not the ones that were coming on the radio, but they were on the album, and I sang along. I was old enough to sing along. Maybe not old enough to completely understand everything, and now I do. But I obviously I didn't buy that CD alone. Your parents are always there, or when you use your pocket money, you come back and you're like, okay, I bought CDs. And if it's really not okay, then they would say, look, this one we're not really happy with. On TikTok, you can't control it. On YouTube, you can put a barrier.
Yeah.
And even one of my videos, the Phoenix video, where I am completely in body paint for the entire time, is not suitable for minors on YouTube. While there is no nipple, nothing goes below the waist. It's mostly even above my breasts, so you don't even see where the actual nipple would have been. You don't really see that, and it was immediately deemed not suitable for minors on YouTube.
Right.
And that's totally fine for me. That's fine. If that's that, I'm not going to oppose that in any way. But TikTok made for minors, and all of this explicit lyric content.
It really is the difference between the marketing that they say this is made for minors, this is made for young people, and then they don't actually control it properly. They police things they shouldn't or they didn't need to be policing and take stuff down without warning. They don't implement a system where you can brand your content as something eligible for people over 18, which would solve so many of their problems. Yeah. Right? But they don't do that.
On Twitch, you can do that too.
And then they go out and do a whole marketing campaign, which they get paid for WAP.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, so the label, the marketing
which
people,
is not being taken down.
No, it's not being taken down because TikTok is paid to do a whole WAP campaign, and it's a marketing campaign of the song linked to the release. Yeah. It's like printing it back in the day, I don't know, Michael Jackson, they printed posters and put it in the places where the bus stop was, so that everybody would know that Michael Jackson had a new album. They don't do that anymore now. Now they do TikTok challenges and TikTok campaigns and playlisting campaigns. And a lot of people don't know this. This is the marketing. Yeah. It's not because WAP was all of a sudden a thing and everybody was using it. No, they paid for it to become a thing that everybody was using, obviously. Yeah. And I just think it's not okay if you're targeting an app that is actually used mostly by minors. I think it's disgusting. Yes. Yeah. And well, I have nothing more to say.
Yeah, well, I don't think there's a lot more to say on that subject. We can circle back to the nipples, though, on Instagram.
Yes,
because,
we can.
You looked up in the terms of service.
I did.
Which nipples specifically were restricted. And it stated that it was...
Yeah, they did state female nipples. And they also said, we can understand that for artistic reasons, you would want to post a nice picture with a nipple in it of a female person. And they specifically said that, in more sexual content, obviously it's not allowed, but they specifically say female nipples. If I were the person that was writing the terms and conditions at Instagram, I would immediately have a red flag, like, if I put female here, I am discriminating. Yeah. Which is basically a big opening for lawsuits. So why not just put nipples without a gender? Anybody's nipple is not allowed. So
because then guys couldn't post topless pics anymore.
Yes, but we can also post topless pics, but you can block out the
Yeah.
nipple or put a cross on it or an emoji on it, men would then have to do the same. Why is that such a problem? Why can we see their nipples without sexualizing it and it being a problem?
Because
but
we're
not
the ones
female
sexualizing
nipples.
them this way. We were talking about this earlier, and like I mean, I said it before. It all comes back down to even the thing with the minors dancing on TikTok and us being like, oh, this is not okay because she's dancing in a slightly sexual manner. This is you trying to protect that minor, right? Because we know as adults, we know how the world works and that men will sexualize that girl,
Yes,
her being a minor, and that anybody who does those movements when they are not an adult
they don't
is
see
in
it that way.
danger.
Yeah, and they don't see it that way.
Because of the male gaze.
Yeah, and they don't realize it. So they're like, oh, this is a cute dance. And they're like, thrusting their hips and twerking and stuff. But they don't realize that it's basically, it all comes from sexual acts. And that all the adult males, not all men, okay, but a lot of adult males have a TikTok account just to be able to look at very, very pretty girls who are obviously minors because their bodies are still like perfectly shaped and formed, and they're thin and perfect and smooth, and I'm sure, let's be honest, people, I'm sure that a lot of men are jacking off on little videos on TikTok.
So
they
basically, it's kind of like child pornography.
It is.
Yeah.
It is, and nobody's shielding them.
No.
Obviously, there is a whole thing also where they also on Instagram, they specifically put it that they do ban or remove pictures of barely clothed children. So they're talking about children, not minors. Children, for me, is under 11 or something.
Yeah.
Like babies and children. But
they really
TikTok
should be shielding minors as well.
TikTok doesn't really talk about that.
I don't know. It's a link between, because like technically what Instagram is doing with the nipples is they're censoring art. Because we talk, like, if you think about old statues or old paintings, like we went past Rubens' house.
Yeah.
I'm sure he painted naked people as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
A lot of nakedness.
Right? So a lot of nakedness, a lot of nipples, a lot of penises. Everything was there, and it wasn't sexualized. It was anatomically
correct.
Yes, that one.
Yes.
Exactly. So it was anatomically correct, and
well done.
Thank you. Literally, my tongue was in pieces there. But basically, it's not. You don't look at these statues and think, oh my God, that's so sexual.
No, it's realistic. It's like the Greek statues. It's a guy doing sports.
So, like, with modern art, shouldn't they get
He doesn't have an erection. He does not have an erection.
Well, yeah.
If he would have, then that would be a sexual statue, obviously. But they don't. They don't. But now we've sexualized the world so much, and you guys, I'm just really sickened by that. I'm sure that there are men out there jacking off to these videos of these girls, and these girls don't have a clue.
No.
Obviously, they're not kind of touched by it, but then afterwards, if you do get some kind of notoriety, that's my problem. You can say that one.
Notoriety.
Yes, thank you. So, who are you stalked by then? Are you getting stalkers? Are there going to be people who want to hurt you, rape you, dick pics?
Yeah.
Oh God, it's like an avalanche of stuff that you don't want your child to really be in contact with until they really have to. You want them to have the best childhood and the most innocent childhood that they can for as long as possible. Because the world is shit, but that you don't want them to know too fast. Because
Well, yeah, I mean, there's so many things that as a kid I never really thought about, but when I turned 12, about that time, I started being told by my mother, be careful when you walk around at night, don't walk around alone. And I was 12.
Yeah.
Right? I was 12 and I was being told this because I was starting to look more like a woman.
Yeah. And that's dangerous. That's not okay.
That is disgusting.
It's not okay.
No.
It is not.
And I mean, the whole point, basically, of this is that the whole reason any of this is an issue is because men over-sexualize women.
Of all ages.
Of all ages, right?
On all platforms.
I don't look at a man, even if he's naked, I don't look at a man and be like, oh my God, I'm so aroused right now.
I need to
go
do
there.
something with his dick.
Yeah. I don't look at him, even a topless man. I don't like, even if they're good looking, I look at them and I'm like, oh, they're good looking, but I don't go like,
you don't want to jump
fuck
them.
that guy. Yeah.
Why don't we?
What?
Why?
Right?
This is happening.
This is the proper way to actually actually look at people. You look, don't stare. Right? I've heard this so many times, and it's true. Like, women look at men a lot. We check them out. We look at their butts. We do look. We notice these things. It's not like we don't notice.
Exactly.
But it's just like, we look, we appreciate, we do not stare.
And we don't act upon.
Yeah.
We don't harass them because they have a nice butt.
And we don't walk
oh
after them for 5 minutes just because they have a nice butt.
Yes, exactly. And to ask their number, it was a nice butt, but that's just
and
it.
Even when we look, we don't go like...
She's staring at me so hard right now.
Yeah, like we don't just ogle. We just look and we're like, oh, that's a nice butt. Really nice butt. I'm going to watch you walk around the corner now. Okay, now we've gone. Bye.
Bye.
It's just, come on. We can't say we don't do it because we do, but we don't.
You can have
sexualize people.
Yes, you can have a sexual drive and look at nice features of people who you're attracted to, but we don't. Yeah, just it's also aggressive. Yeah. The aggressive sexual need that.
And then they're like, oh, but you shouldn't have put on those clothes. And I'm like, how the fuck is what I'm wearing any sort of... You go around topless all the time.
Yeah.
Are you expecting me to jump you every time you go topless because you couldn't have stopped yourself if I was topless?
Yeah.
How does that relate? How is that even a thing?
It's
not. It's not. And it's something that men need to be taught from a young age. We need to educate also our women, but we need to educate our children in a manner that makes this cycle stop.
I see a lot of men of all ages, also older men, when it's really hot, they ride their bicycles around. They take off their t-shirt, which actually is against the law to take off your t-shirt in a public place, so on the street, for example.
Oh, okay.
But they ride. So this is in Belgium, but it's in most European countries. I'm sure it's in America. And so you're not allowed to, even in your car, you're not allowed to, as a man, sit in your car without anything covering
because
your
you
upper
can't
body.
see the rest, so it's like you could be nude.
Well,
that's not actually a friend of mine has been stopped for being shirtless. Yeah. And they were saying, look, this is okay, but it's like people outside can't see that you're wearing trousers, so you need to put on a shirt so that people don't think you're naked basically.
So, but men still drive around here with the pants but without the t-shirt. They're not stopped by the police, really. I don't think they must. I don't stare at them because they're t-shirtless.
No.
I don't mind. They're super hot, fine.
Yeah.
But if we do that, oh my God, the shitstorm. Or even just in only a bra or a bikini on the bicycle,
no.
It would be such a shitstorm. And I mean, it's so weird.
Yeah.
It's so weird. Anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, let's wrap this up because, oh, jeez.
Instagram, TikTok, stop it.
Yes. Actually, let us know your thoughts on this in the comments, because I'm sure we've pushed off quite a conversation about this. But generally,
have you been banned?
Yeah.
Have you been? Has anything been deleted of yours? Have you been banned, shadow banned, whatever? Please let us know. It's so interesting.
Definitely let us know. All right, so that's all for today. That was enough for any day. Thank you for tuning into Unboxing Women. Be sure to connect with us on our socials, which you can find in the show notes. Send us a DM or let us know your personal experiences with the hashtag #suchabitch. And don't forget to support your favorite artists through merch or donations. My name is Maika Rose and I've been chatting with Rexx. Thank you for tuning into our final episode of season 3. Have a great holiday and we'll see you in the new year.
Yes, we'll see you then. Bye.